Hello, everybody, and welcome to MCU Me podcast, whatever you want to call it. Talk show? No, it's not. It's a discussion platform, whatever. Project, if anything. Podcast, yes. I'm Keaton from The Buzz. I'm joined by... Erick.
Yeah.
Erick, also on The Buzz now, I guess, because you've been in... I think at this point there's more MCU videos than most other ones, so there you go. So, today we're talking about Iron Man 3, first movie of Phase 2. And I had a lot to follow up with, needless to say, from Avengers. I don't know how do you do that? Did they?
Do you think they did?
Did they follow up the Avengers?
I mean, I don't know. Weirdly enough, I think this movie's like the vibe. The main thing that sticks out is when someone mentions Iron Man 3 is just kind of weird. Because, like, in a way, you know, quality-wise, no, it didn't really live up. But in a way, it doesn't feel like, oh, wow, that was a letdown. At least to me.
It's an interesting movie.
Yeah, like, well, most of all, it's just kind of weird. I mean, it did, financially, yeah, it made all the money in the world. I think it was, I think it was up there with the Avengers.
I mean, this took, like, a one-year break, basically, after the Avengers movie. So they kind of had the time to plan out how Phase 2 was going to go.
Yeah, I mean, plus they were still, I don't know, I guess in their first stepping stones, because you said the Avengers was the only movie from 2012, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, because now they're up to, like...
And then they did this in Dark World in 2013, so they were just kind of like hey, we kind of have to make some sequels now, you know, kind of have to do follow-ups. This movie isn't... It follows up the Avengers, which I wish that more of the Avengers follow-up stuff referenced Avengers and stuff, but also gives context for it. Usually the Avengers movies are pretty good about that. So, like, the way that Joss Whedon wrote the Avengers, you didn't have to watch the individual movies per se. They explain all of their stuff and their interactions.
Right, you can kind of get the gist.
Yeah, because the thing is, all those characters are meeting for the first time, so it's an easy excuse of being like, oh yeah, hey, I'm the God of Thunder, or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're also being introduced to them at the same time as the characters. Mm-hmm. However, in Iron Man 3, it's just like, hey, you know, I just fought a Russian dude. Hey, between that movie and this movie, we also saved New York. I carried a nuke through a wormhole, fought aliens.
Well, I mean, that is a big part of this movie. At least in the first half. I mean, kind of has to do with one of, at least my complaints about it. Which is, you know, kind of how the whole PTSD kind of just gets forgotten about.
It doesn't.
No?
No. It goes all the way until Wisconsin or wherever the fuck he goes.
It was what?
Whatever the cold place is, whatever cold state. Anyway.
Well, yeah, and that's like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, well, still, it's a point, and then the kid is basically like...
Well, like the last three...
Okay, so the main lesson of this movie is for Iron Man to be like, oh shit, I don't need to tinker and be Iron Man to be Iron Man, in a sense.
Is that what it is? Okay, that's one thing I'll mention. I really don't... I think I don't get it.
I didn't get it whenever I first watched the movie. I really did not like the ending of this movie at all, but now I have a little bit more of an understanding for it and why thematically they included the ending that they did.
It's either I'm dumb or thematically, I don't know, it's not very, like, it's not even like up to interpretation kind of thing. It's just kind of like, what are they trying to convey? At least to me. So
I got a little bit more of a gist of it. So basically, you know how he says at the very end of the movie, he's like, I was in the chrysalis. The armor wasn't who I was. It was a chrysalis, and now I'm out or whatever. The thing was basically like, he was a piece of shit starting before Iron Man 1 and whatever. And even that's why I think they show the 90s part or whatever at the beginning of the movie. So it's like, oh yeah, Tony was a piece of shit before Iron Man 1. Mm-hmm. And then he got put into unfortunate circumstances, being kidnapped by 10 Rings or whatever, and had to make the suit basically to survive. And then that ultimately helped him to be a better person, like, oh shit, I have to fix my stuff. So the lesson is ultimately like, he doesn't need the suits anymore to be a good person. He's just a better person now overall. And that he doesn't need the suits per se. That's the lesson that I understand from it.
I mean, that's
whether it thematically makes sense or not, or if it's a good follow up to the two movies before it. The movie 2 really didn't delve into that, but it kind of brings back a lot of things from 1. But the thing is, you can kind of tell that Jon Favreau didn't direct this one. You can tell somebody else directed this one.
Yeah. There's a lot of... this movie was directed by Shane Black, and there's a lot of Shane Black, like, what would you call him? Like
I'm not familiar with very many Shane Black movies, but I can tell it's a different...
His main thing is his movies are always set either during Christmas.
Halloween
or Christmas. They tend to have a lot of buddy cop elements, or not buddy cop, but like, two people, banter, that kind of thing. Which, of course, Rhodey, he's a lot more involved in this movie. I think than ever before, really. I never quite realized like how much Rhodey's in this movie, honestly.
He doesn't do too much, though. I mean, he gets kidnapped. Yeah. He saves the day near the end, but he doesn't get a suit. And they change it to Iron Patriot for just this one movie for no reason, basically.
Well, no, it wasn't for no reason. It was because of the Mandarin thing.
For patriotism and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like... but then immediately they're like, oh yeah, no, he's War Machine. Yeah. And whenever Avengers 2 rolls around, so it doesn't matter.
I guess you're right.
So, exactly. It's a one-off. A lot of the things in this movie are pretty one-off. Like, the end of the movie, because we're just kind of going to go wherever our thoughts go for this. At the end of the movie, where he removes the shrapnel from his chest finally, which is like, okay, he couldn't do that the whole time.
Yeah, that's also another thing. Does that...
Like, when it was killing you, you didn't think to do this?
Yeah, because so Iron Man 2, so I don't know, because they never... I guess you could take it as, well, the technology to do that was never there before, but I don't know, they don't really make that clear, like, whether that was the case.
I get why thematically it makes sense, because he's like,
thematically,
I'll do it too. Like,
but logically, like...
And also, like, Pepper got superpowers for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which, would have been cool if she had powers. That would have been neat. But I know that's not like how the comics work out, I guess.
Not only that, but yeah, you're right. Everything is a one-off because Extremis never been brought back.
Yep. Well, I mean, it was in the...
AIM.
I mean, it was referenced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? I remember that being pretty early on.
Was it?
They had like the centipede shit or whatever.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
It's like, it's a mix of extremists and super soldiers. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, but other than that, like, there was nothing else really. Like, they've never brought up AIM again. They're pretty big in comics. They're one of those evil corporate, kind of like Roxxon. I forgot that they mentioned Roxxon.
Yeah. They do mention Roxxon a lot.
But yeah, I mean that. What else? So
overall, you just didn't like or understand the themes of this movie.
I mean, it's just, I guess more so. I think they clashed a lot because there's a lot of I guess story like elements. Like, okay, so you have Tony dealing with PTSD from, the Avengers, which I saw it as like they kind of just forgot about it.
They forgot about the PTSD. No, he deals with it occasionally. Like the kid keeps bringing it up and keeps fucking with him and he starts getting anxiety attacks.
Okay, but after halfway, when is it brought up again?
Well, because he realizes like, oh shit, like...
Oh, that does that.
Because he's worried about not having the suit, basically, whenever he gets to the halfway point, and the kid's like, hey...
That's not really how PTSD works.
Well, he's having anxiety attacks more so than PTSD.
No, and actually, you know what? I was surprised at how, like, kind of accurate those are.
Yeah.
Like that, like, whenever, watching this again now, because at the time I watched it, depression was my thing, not so much anxiety.
Yeah.
So now watching it, having, experienced more anxiety than anything... I was like, holy shit, like this, I mean, at least for me, in my case, it's pretty accurate. Like he starts breathing hard. He gets very,
nervous, anxious.
Yeah. And fuck that kid, man.
That kid. As a character or just him being a piece of shit?
No, I don't know, man. No, I mean, the kid, he was cool. I mean, although now that I think about it,
it was a really shitty relationship.
Yeah, he didn't really need to be in the movie.
Not necessarily, but like...
I think that might be a Shane Black thing, too.
I get that the thing was like, oh yeah, Tony Stark's like a really shitty dad.
Yeah.
Like, you just like, get over it, pussy. Like,
yeah!
It's funny.
Man, no. Like, when that line, I was like, Jesus, bro.
He's like, shit happens, get over it.
Yeah, I was like,
And he gives a kid a weapon to use on a bully.
Yeah.
Like, it's super irresponsible. So, like... I don't know. Iron Man's writing is kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, see, look,
because like, oh yeah, I'm a better person, but I'm also like teaching this kid like, hey, be a piece of shit.
Yeah, so look, you're juggling the PTSD thing, the whole anxiety thing. You're juggling, the thing with the kid, which is, I guess, maybe like supposed to.
It's one part of the movie and it kind of comes back because like he gives him the workshop at the end, and like he has to release the Iron Man parts or whatever. But like, it's just like a segment of a movie. Like it's interesting because it has segments. It's like,
literally in the middle, and that's it.
Yeah, basically.
And there's that. There's the whole theme of Tony trying to get over or not trying to get over, but
well, it's interesting because like it shows what the human character is basically doing after Avengers, because he's like the human. He's a human technically. I mean, like obviously Black Widow is not in this movie again. But he's actually like training constantly. He's not sleeping. Yeah, he's developing the Mark 42 on 3 days without sleeping or whatever. What did you think of the Mark 42? I think it's really neat. They use it in some interesting ways, I think.
I don't know. I didn't even seem that prominent to me. I mean, it's okay.
It's all over the place. It's the main suit. It's like the suit of the movie.
It goes on to like how these one of my biggest things with this movie is the fucking suits.
They just fall apart.
How they literally fall apart. Like that is,
which it makes sense in the context of like the Mark 42 because it literally is meant to come apart.
Yeah, like that. Some of them, it makes sense, but like the others, we're already jumping all over the place, but at the end, there's that scene that's supposed to be like a comedic scene where he's fighting with Aldrich Killian or whatever, and he summons the suit, and then the suit runs into one thing and it just fucking falls apart. I was like, man, come on! Like, I don't know. That to me, that's one of those moments where they'll undercut a serious moment with like a cheap laugh. I mean, I don't know. Personally, I just didn't think that was funny. Also, because again, it just kind of invalidates like these fucking suits like should not be falling apart like Legos.
I think the thing was though that I didn't recognize before watching this movie again, because I don't think I'd watched it since like it originally came out.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
and like skimmed it during Christmas because I thought it'd be. I think Iron Man 3 is going to be a really fun Christmas movie. Everyone talks about Die Hard. I'm gonna start watching Iron Man 3 every Christmas.
Nah, that's not gonna.
I'm gonna do it. But the thing is, I think the point of it now, because I wasn't really paying attention, I guess, to the beginning parts, is that he's doing like he's basically working on them to avoid his issues.
Yeah, that's a good
he's also making them on little sleep. He's not very present. So in theory, possibly is that it's just really exhausted and anxious Tony constantly making shit, moving on to other projects. And you could reasonably assume that's why the suits are so shitty.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, no, that's feasible. I mean,
and why he'd come up with something that's basically just blows them all up so he can start over again. Because he does. He just basically blows it up and does it again.
I still don't get that. I don't really get what that was supposed to represent.
It was basically meant... It's part of the theme, which is like, okay, letting go of the past.
Yeah, I get it, but logically, like, that's a...
It's kind of efficient. But he makes... he makes better suits after.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, that's the Mark 42.
Yeah, the Mark 42 is the one that falls apart and it's like mostly gold and stuff.
Oh, well, then, fuck, that's...
I think it's neat. They use it in some interesting ways, like whenever Pepper gets attacked.
No, yeah.
Although,
how does any of that work, though? That's the thing,
he points at it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I don't know. I guess, no, they do show that she doesn't know how to use it. She just kind of uses it accidentally.
You know, speaking of that, she at one part in the finale, when she has her power, she randomly attacks an Iron Man robot out of the sky, takes the arm, and can use it fully, even though it thought she was a target, which is interesting.
There's a couple of things with this movie that are a little inconsistent.
The suits, that just reminded me. I want to bitch about something. The Iron Patriot suit doesn't make any fucking sense. Okay. So, Rhodey can use it just fine, cool, okay. He gets captured, they melt his hand. Somehow he can't move in the suit whatsoever after that. He gets kidnapped, brought all the way back to America somehow. Okay, cool. He's in the suit. He can't move it whatsoever. They get him out of the suit. They fix the suit. Mm-hmm. They can use the suit just fine. He uses it on Air Force One. And then, the extremist guy is on there. They put the president in it. And then the suit just fucking flies back.
Okay. That's what I was saying. Like, okay, so did they program it to do that? Did they hack it or something?
Yeah, I think it's implied that they hack it, but it's just like,
how?
Okay. And then they put him in the suit again. And then again, it doesn't work whenever he's strung up like Jesus.
Not only that, but I mean, there's a couple things wrong with that scene in particular. Not that scene, but like that whole part of the movie. Because on top of that, how the fuck is it like flying back? Like on autopilot, I guess maybe if you want to reach, there's a button or something, but you still have to navigate like where you want it to go. They never really show a scene where they're hacking it.
I don't know. They kind of do, but like whenever they're doing that, they're like trying to cut the suit open with buzzsaws on the leg.
Yeah, and then like they fucking melt the whole entire middle part, and then it's just
he's like, yeah, we'll fix it or something like that. But it's like,
but I mean, there's that. I mean, the whole plan, like, it relied
also like, if the president really wanted Iron Patriot to be with him as a personal escort, why would he be in the plane?
Not only that, but okay, so not only that, but again, what if they had asked him to talk?
Well, they do, and that's when he throws a trophy in the guy's chest.
No, because he flies down, and they just don't question it. They don't ask him to, like, you know, roadie, you know, like,
he
they
gives
don't.
a salute.
That's it. And then he's quiet. So you were to assume that the whole ride, the whole plane, he was just quiet.
Yeah.
The president probably asked him something like, hey, so, you know, how are you doing? Just nothing. Like, no one would have suspected, like, you know, there's something going on with that. And, yeah, so, like, that whole plan could have fallen apart as soon as he landed. They would have been like, Agent Rhodes? Not Agent. You know, Colonel Rhodes. And he would have had to be like, I don't know. Just, hey.
The suit turning on by itself is kind of cool. I'll mention that. Like, the suits are kind of weird, but, like, they get used in creative situations. I like the Iron Legion. I like the fact that they're finally getting into more, like, automated.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing, though. Like, there's again, it's like a lot of, it's like too much going on because.
Yeah, it's just a lot, it's like a lot of different plot points of, like, what could have been multiple Iron Man movies, but we have to put them all into this one. Because this is the last Iron Man movie, so it's like, shit.
And that sucks, too, because, I mean, that goes into another thing. That twist.
Oh, the man.
I maintain.
I mean, we're here. We can talk about it.
Not good. I hate it.
You don't like the Mandarin twist?
No, I don't.
Okay, so they obviously marketed the Mandarin as he is in the movie. What did you think of the more Middle Eastern, like, terrorist war on terror take on the Mandarin?
I mean, it's kind of how it fit perfectly into what I think it would be like today. In present day, especially because, I don't know. Another thing too, I noticed they didn't really even give him an origin. He's just kind of there. He just starts.
Yeah, he's a terrorist.
Yeah,
and the movie keeps cutting back to it, which is kind of neat. Like the different videos that he's making, that. I mean, so it's like, which is kind of interesting because you never really going in without knowing the twist. You'd be like, oh yeah, there's
I mean, it's really interesting.
You don't really see the villain until the very end, in theory.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about the Mandarin. Nobody really gives a shit about the Mandarin. People care about the Mandarin because he's like known as the Iron Man villain.
Yeah.
However,
how would you feel?
Mandarin is just a really racist Asian caricature from the beginning.
What? It makes you racist for thinking that. And
that's how it started.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see some of the original pictures of the Mandarin?
Even if he wasn't like an in-depth villain, doesn't mean they couldn't have made him one.
No, they could have, and they did. So they subverted it.
No, they didn't. Just because you subvert something does not make it good.
You're correct.
Just because I shoot you right now, that doesn't mean... Oh, wow, I'm glad you shot me. You really subverted my expectations. No, that's another argument for The Last Jedi, but still.
We're never going to fucking watch that.
But still, it's just not, I don't know. I'm not fucking with it, and I blame Guy Pearce for that. Fuck him for that.
Guy Pearce is fine.
He's the one who suggested the idea.
Good.
The twist. Good. And they're like, and Shane Black was like, yeah, you know what? Okay.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I don't care. Guy Pearce is a good actor.
He is. Memento.
Anyway, I love Memento. Goddamn. A side note, I love Memento. I need to watch it again. Anyway, Mandarin twist. I think it's all right.
Fact, not good.
I mean, it kind of plays in the movie where they just did a bunch of weird shit.
Yeah, again,
I understand why people are upset, but I don't think Mandarin is as a big a deal as people make him out to be, and he's not. I can't remember a single modern Marvel thing outside the MCU that has done the Mandarin at all. Period.
What do you mean?
Like no cartoons, no.
Okay, there's cartoons. Animated movies.
I can't remember.
Have you looked?
I can't. I have been an adult,
ladies and gentlemen. We got him
a while now. Anyway,
bad decision.
I don't think.
I'm glad we both agree,
but it's a one-off thing regardless. What did you think of them responding to the controversy around that by making the short film, which was like getting the actual Mandarin?
It is very blatantly like, okay, we're sorry, but I mean, it is ultimately there's not going to be another Iron Man movie. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It would have been great. That's what I'm saying. It's such a waste. There's so many things going on that you could have elaborated on. Like, that's one thing. In comparison, it's just small. Also, they say that, maybe the Mandarin could appear in the Shang-Chi. Oh, God. It's going to be wrong if I fuck that name up. That Shang-Chi movie that's coming out. The martial arts. Yeah, the martial arts one.
What are you talking about?
There's a Marvel movie coming out called Shang-Chi. No. Kind of like that. It's like a martial arts movie. They're already casting it. They said maybe the Mandarin would make an appearance. The real one. Weird.
He is the real Mandarin. Guy Pearce. Anyway, I don't really care about the twist. I mean, like, I think it ultimately would have been fine if Guy Pearce didn't say, "I am the Mandarin."
Fuck that.
If that line hadn't been said, I don't think people would have been as upset. Because it would have just been, hey, the Mandarin's a concept. And he doesn't exist at all. But Guy Pearce saying, "I am the Mandarin," means he's the actual Mandarin. Now you can be upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the mistake I think they made with the twist. Ultimately, I personally don't care either way. Like,
because here's the thing,
it's not like it's a good subversion. Like, you don't expect it going in. So like the marketing actually played it up pretty well. And that actually is one of my favorite parts of the movie, where Iron Man doesn't have any tools at all. Like, he doesn't have any suits. Yeah, so he has to make everything.
No, that scene where he's breaking in. I forgot about that scene. That was really. It's cool because they show him lots of times with
being a mechanic.
Yeah, lots of times with these like genius type characters, you kind of just put the whole smart thing to the side, but they keep reminding you, like, yeah, he is a genius. You take all of that away, and he's still, pretty much he's Iron Man. He's able to. So
you get the metaphor for the movie. The kid's like, hey, you're a mechanic, just make things, and that was
his last anxiety attack. I think.
Exactly. Yeah, it was. It doesn't really make sense why it cures his anxiety, because the thing was he was tinkering when he had anxiety anyway.
So, like, what is that really?
I can understand why it made him focus, but it really shouldn't have cured his anxiety per se, but there's no real other places where it would have come up, in theory.
Yeah, just don't bring it up then.
I don't know.
In this movie...
It was their way of trying to relate it, I guess, to the Avengers happening, and they do show some clips, like when he's dreaming of the Avengers.
Yeah, fuck that kid.
What? What?
Man, is it because of New York? What happened? What was the wormhole like? Is me saying New York, is that giving you anxiety? Should I stop? Do you want me to stop talking? I was like, bro, shut the fuck up, kid.
Wow.
Also, I've realized just now.
Yes.
I completely forgot about her character.
Who, the botanist?
Yeah, see, what's her name?
I don't get
it. See what I mean? Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
I forgot that she died.
She's useless.
There's some Mandela effect stuff going on with this movie, because I remember her surviving.
No.
Yeah, and then, when I saw it again, I was like, oh, wow.
So Guy Pearce could do the stereotypical villain of thing of like, oh, let me kill my henchman for you.
Yeah, it's like, wow, okay. Like, that's another thing. She was actually supposed to be the main villain, but...
she is the Mandarin. People would have been just as upset, if not more.
No, she, wow, that bunny has tits.
What? Those are hands.
No, I didn't realize that.
No. Eric, you're a pervert.
Wow, that's wrong.
You're a furry.
Anyway, no, stop.
Oh, now I gotta go back. Those are hands. Those are paws.
Those are literally...
You're dumb. Oh, they're actually, paws, you fucking dingleberry.
Oh, you might be right.
God. Oh, I had to. We're watching the clip right now.
Okay, never mind. Anyway,
he's imagining a bunny with tits.
Stop, bro. She was supposed to be the villain, but they said no because she was a woman, pretty much.
Whoa.
Yeah. No.
Wow,
legit.
You sexist.
No, that's not me, though.
That's not me.
I didn't make that.
Eric, why?
Yeah, they said it wouldn't sell toys or some shit like that. So
But Guy Pearce toys sold? Like, what?
And, like...
I don't know how you can sell toys in this movie besides, like, the Iron Man suits.
Ultimately, yeah, she was kind of useless. Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like, oh, yeah, you were good at one point. And she, like... flips from being evil right away.
Well, like I didn't even know what to think of that. I was like, okay, so is she evil and just pretending because Pepper's right there and, she's talking to...
Yeah, no, she was evil during that part. Like, and she is so fucking obvious about it, too. Like, her expression oh, no.
Yeah, so, that's another confusing
thing. Who could that be at the door?
That scene...
where the helicopters attack.
That there's so much wrong with that scene.
What?
First of all...
when the helicopters attack?
That the fucking media is there before anyone else is. Like, because they get it on, like, don't you remember they're like breaking news?
Yeah.
And they're already there before the attack even happens.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
because he gave the Mandarin his address.
So so what? They just had people just fucking waiting outside the whole time?
Yes, to watch. And see
okay, well, not only that, but you think he'd have better defense systems for that.
Yes, besides him just being in the Iron Man
suit. Like, hey, there's missiles coming.
Maybe have the Iron Legion out.
Yeah, or anything. You know... So
it's not like you have Pepper there directly with you, and
like putting her in danger. Which I guess, to be fair, he does apologize for that later. But
I never caught the fact that the helicopters were not like military helicopters, which I thought they were.
Yeah, me too.
They're news copters,
yeah.
Which makes a little bit more sense, like why they were able to like sneak up. It's like, where the fuck did those helicopters come from? But yeah, so
yeah, there's that. I mean, really, like, there's no way that. I mean, look,
it shows him being creative, I guess, with a suit that doesn't have actual weapon capability yet, which is neat. Like throwing a missile at somebody and then shooting the missile to blow it up, and then blasting the piano. Really creative stuff with that.
Actually, no, yeah, there's a lot of stuff actually with him, like, having to improvise.
There's a lot of neat, creative things that they do. It's just whether or not the plot strings them together in a proper way that makes it interesting.
Yeah, because the other good scene that I completely forgot about that I remembered how badass it was where he has to get all the people that are falling out of the jet.
Yeah, that one's all right. I mean, the science of it's a little weird.
What do you mean?
I thought like they were.
It's plausible.
He was doing something like with magnetism, but I think he just straight up says like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna electrocute you so that you can't open your hand."
Wait.
So basically, they're clinching because they're being shocked. Which I thought they were just magnetically like connected or something.
I thought they were just. Oh, I didn't even catch that.
I don't know.
I literally
it doesn't make sense.
I remember hearing that line, but I was like, I don't know what that means. But
I mean, I don't know. It was interesting.
Everybody grabbing each other.
Again, it's just something being creative, and
then the suit gets destroyed.
I prefer like the scene where they're in like the small town and like it gets attacked.
Oh, really?
By like the extremist lady.
Yeah.
And like he has like no powers whatsoever, and he has to like fend for himself.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I don't know. This whole movie is a bunch of like good, bad,
random scenes.
It's a mess, really.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's
like I said, it's a bunch of like different plot and ideas.
Yeah, like
all fucking forced into one.
I don't know. I think somewhere in this movie is a really good movie. Like maybe if you took away the kid part, if you took away some of the Mandarin stuff and made it more about Tony dealing with himself and like having to kind of improvise when he doesn't have the suit.
Yeah.
Not needing to rely on it. Like it would have been much more cohesive, I guess, because.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, there's so many things that could have been fleshed out for a whole movie.
Yeah.
But
I feel like the thing is that probably, not only were they like, fuck, what do we do post Avengers? Because I don't know how early they were working on Iron Man 3 after.
No, yeah, that's true.
Like, how rushed was it? Like, were they already working on it by the time Avengers came out? Or was it like, shit, we gotta make Avengers 3?
I'm sure.
I don't know, John Favreau, was he working on like Jungle Book or something like that? Or?
No, not in 2013.
Or was he working on Chef?
Chef, I think. No, I think, Chef was about how Marvel interfered with him in Iron Man 2.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Chef, the movie.
I watched Chef for the...
Yeah,
me and a group of friends watched Chef for the meme. I don't know if you ever watched Filthy Frank.
I don't know.
Oh, bro, we gotta watch Filthy Frank after this. But yeah, no, I did not know that it was just about a chef who goes to make a food truck, which is independent, just like Chef is an independent movie. Yeah. Oh my god! But yeah, John Favreau's character shows up in the beginning, gets injured, and then shows up at the end, which is like, okay, that's a creative way, I guess, of getting him to not be as involved with the project. So.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think the merger, at this time, the Disney,
it was already
Marvel.
They had taken place before Avengers.
No, I thought Avengers was like the first one. Because if you look,
Avengers was.
I think this is the very first one that is solely like Disney.
Because Avengers was already made, so they were like, okay, we're gonna put this out or whatever.
Oh,
they helped with distribution, I think, of Avengers, but they didn't have too much involvement in the actual movie. I don't think.
Yeah.
But then after that, Disney had a heavy involvement, and I don't know. It's super. I don't know. This movie's all over the place. I think that's basically where we put it at. All right, so let's get into Easter eggs, I guess, just before we wrap it up. Does this movie connect much with the overall MCU besides the fact that it shows the first Avenger being out of it and Bruce Banner appearing randomly at the very end is for a very meaningless post-credit scene.
Yeah, other than like referencing the Avengers, like that battle, there's really not much. I mean, they'll refer to like.
He blows up his suits, but he has them back by Avengers 2.
Yeah, and like, they bring up Thor as.
Oh yeah, ever since the guy with the
hammer, that kind of shit.
That was the first instance of the guy with the hammer
that kind of thing.
used.
Yeah, the guy with the shield, the big green guy. They just fucking.
No, they just say to the guy with the hammer, subtleties out the window, which is actually a line that I really like.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But then the shows literally could not say their names, so they had to do that, and it gets really overused. But this was the first time.
Other than that, this is kind of, for the most part, pretty standalone.
Pretty standalone.
Yeah.
It starts a character arc, at least that's implied to have started before the movie, but kind of wraps it up in the same movie of, hey, I'm Iron Man. I'm technically a better person now. I don't need the suits, even though he goes back to making the suits immediately after. But it's also like a thing of like, oh yeah, he's taking Pepper Potts, the relationship more seriously, I guess. So that's, but ultimately after this movie, you don't see him again until Avengers 2, where he still makes suits.
Yeah, I mean,
he ultimately makes Ultron, which, I mean...
Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know how that character arc really...
Yeah, it's not really much of a...
I haven't seen Ultron in a minute, so like I'll have to see how it blends in, and we'll kind of see how the character arc goes in. But yeah, this movie feels very standalone, so it's like... Maybe it's not his overall character arc, but maybe a single movie character arc for Tony. Like, hey, more like a lesson that doesn't really matter in the overall scheme of things.
Yeah, that's more of how I would take it.
Yeah, it's just a one-off, basically, which is kind of sad because this was the first trilogy movie. The first three. The first because at least they're following generally the formula of 3 movies and you're done. Or like a trilogy, and then the hero's basically done because they're at this point they're paying millions and millions of dollars for Robert Downey Jr. So they were definitely going to end it after 3 with him.
I don't know, man. I still love to see an Iron Man 4.
I don't. It's never going to happen, dude.
I know, but
his contract's up. Chris Evans is up.
It'd be great. Don't lose hope. It's always possible.
But I think it's also important that they wanted to have a wrap up because it is the 3rd movie. So they wanted him to learn some sort of lesson, even if it doesn't really carry over to the other movies of like, hey, he's a changed man since Iron Man 1, and then wrapping it, and then, hey, the character still exists, and he goes on to do other stuff, but the Iron Man trilogy is done now. He's had a character arc. So people who just watch Iron Man, theoretically, I don't know who those people are, they're done. They can just watch that, and if they want to see Tony Stark continue on adventures, you can still do that with movies moving forward, basically.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. The thing with, like for example, I don't know, I guess the whole Easter egg thing, because that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, Mandarin. 10 Rings comes back, but like the thing is, he never.
They were never really there.
He never mentions the fact that he never mentions the fact that was the same organization that had him in the first one.
Yeah, not only that, but again, they don't really delve into anything about the 10 Rings at all. Well,
except at that point, are they fake? Like, it never explains that. Like, is that terrorist organization fake, or is it just the Mandarin? Because the organization was real.
Yeah, it's real, Yeah, this movie sucks. Cool. Iron Man 3, more like Iron Man...
P.
Yeah. That's what,
P.
That's the official rating.
Wow. Alright, so what do you rate it out of 10, for real? Let's get into ratings.
I don't know.
Whenever you start saying... This is the thing with Eric. Whenever he starts saying joke ratings, it's time for the actual ratings. I'm going to give it 6.5.
I'm there with you. Yeah.
6.5.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'd also like to retroactively bump the Incredible Hulk up to a 6.5 as well.
Yeah. Well, ooh, I don't know. I think I'd rather watch this and the Incredible Hulk.
Would you?
Yeah.
I'm conflicted.
It surprisingly went by pretty fast too.
Yeah.
I remember this. I remember this movie feeling kind of long.
Okay, fine. We'll leave Incredible Hulk where it is. It's the second time I've contemplated changing the rating. We'll keep it in stone. So this movie is a 6.5. Yeah. Technically above the Incredible Hulk. Now Christmas tradition.
No,
throughout the land.
That's not going to catch on. No,
I'm going to do it.
No, that's
Die Hard's mainstream now for Christmas. So.
And this movie's not?
No.
In conclusion, this was our episode on Iron Man P.
Good job, Eric.
Got him.